Hey, welcome to a new episode of the Relax Just Love podcast, vegan edition. I have the pleasure to be with the Superswede. How you doing, Zara?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
I'm phenomenal. So we were talking before how I'm supposed to describe you. So we're saying a health coach, obviously vegan, and you
hmm
also own a food delivery. Where is it, by the way? I didn't ask you.
In Dubai.
It is in Dubai. So that's where you live normally, right?
Yeah, yeah. Right now I'm in between Dubai and Los Angeles.
It's a big problem.
Yeah, yeah. Now Dubai is too hot right now. It's like 50 degrees. So I'm coming to the cooler parts of the world, trying to get
That's
away from that heat.
that's pretty interesting to say that you go to LA because it's cold, it's colder. Come to Canada if you want to be cold.
Yeah, yeah.
So do you go in between all
Yeah.
the time?
No, no, I'm actually working on a couple of businesses over here. So we're working on a couple of apps
Okay.
um, that we are looking to launch before the end of the year or just the beginning of next year. So yeah, I've been back and forth a little bit. Just it's easier that way. My business partner is here. So working remotely with her, it's been like I'm 11 hours behind or
Okay.
ahead. So it's a little bit slow, the process. So I have to come over and I can spend a month there and I go back to Dubai for a month and I come back over for a month, which I don't mind, you know,
It's a
to get the
beautiful
work done.
problem if you ask me.
Yeah, I'm not complaining.
It
I'm
could
not
be a
complaining.
lot worse.
Yeah,
Are
yeah,
you
yeah.
allowed to
No,
talk
for
about what
sure.
your what the apps are? Or you're not speaking about it yet?
No, no, for sure. I mean, we just finished our pitch decks. So one of the apps is for helping the problem of the food wastage. So we're currently wasting about 30-40% food in the world, which is like, I think with totaling like $750 million a year of wasted food. And that obviously goes into landfills and it turns into methane, which is really, really bad. It's the third, I think, biggest methane produce in the world. So it's a huge problem. So we're working on limiting that for the businesses, creating an opportunity for a consumer to pay less for food that would have otherwise gone bad, and creating that connection between businesses and the consumers, and at the same time helping the planet.
Because there has
So
to be a
that's
way for like restaurants, for example. Like I'm thinking, like think about the tomato sauce. You don't use the nicest of tomatoes. You always take the ones that are a bit
oh, for
messed up, that are
sure,
sweeter. So there has to be a
absolutely.
way to connect businesses together to give deals to other people.
Definitely, definitely. So what we will be doing with the app is just creating a platform for, say, a restaurant. Say they're throwing away sushi. Unfortunately, I can't limit this to vegan restaurants only because there will be no business. But say a restaurant has sushi and they know by 7 o'clock this is going to go bad. So there will be a push notification going out to people in the area, say Santa Monica, and saying that this restaurant has got California rolls, like 50 California rolls coming up. You're going to get it for 30% less. Go and pick it up. This way, the restaurant still makes a little bit of profit where they would have completely lost it. The food doesn't go to waste. People are always looking for a deal. You have a lot of students, they want to have cheaper food, but even people with money, you always want to get a nice deal on things. So you still eat good food, but you might not pay the full price for it. And it generates more business to the restaurant, or the say Whole Foods or somewhere like that, Trader Joe's. It generates business because then you go in, you pick up the food, you'd be like, oh, let me just grab a drink as well, and this and that. So it generates a new revenue for the place, and maybe even new customers. So it works in everyone's favors. And then obviously the end goal would be to help the planet and help us reduce the food waste, and make people more aware. I think people are starting to become more and more aware of the problem that we're facing in terms of our overconsumption of everything and overuse of everything. So even just raising the awareness on that and just making people more aware of how we are spending, how we are eating, you know,
That's clever. That's a very, very cool
yeah,
idea.
don't steal it.
No, I don't.
I'll let you know when we launch in Canada.
It sounds like it's one of those things that just makes sense.
Yeah,
I,
absolutely.
I paid my studies while working in a Tim Hortons. It's basically a Dunkin' Donut.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I
I know it.
used to do the donuts when they were still fresh, when somebody had to make them. And I've always
Oh
wondered
wow.
because 1 o'clock in the we're sorry, around 3 o'clock in the morning, after the drunks has all emptied the restaurant, what's left, which was still a lot, we just throw it out. And I've always wondered why we don't give it to charity, for example.
And this is I also work with the Hollywood Food Coalition here, so feeding the homeless, and they have so much food that they're given from restaurants. And there used to be a myth all around the world, basically, where restaurants and places thought that they weren't allowed to give food away, and especially somewhere like America, where you can sue people for anything, right? So everyone was always really worried because you can get a person suing you saying, "I felt really ill from this food." So they always had this kind of clause into place, like, no, we can't give away any food. But as of January 22, there's a new law coming into place where restaurants actually have to give food away to charitable causes. So there is no laws in place saying you can't give away food. So the food that they're getting at the shelter, I was there last night working, and it's pretty good stuff. They have, like, they can choose between chicken, pork, vegan. You have a lot of vegan people around here, like homeless people even. Um, so there's definitely a market. So whatever we're not managing to sell for the restaurant, we'll obviously arrange to go to the homeless and also to the animal agriculture, wherever they can make use of, potatoes and whatnot, will go to that. So basically nothing goes to waste, which it shouldn't.
Totally agree. Totally agree. I think I don't remember the numbers by heart because it's been a while, but they were saying that we waste enough food to feed absolutely everybody on the planet.
Absolutely. Oh my
And I
God,
think
yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's twice as much. It's not even, I think it's we throw out twice as much as what we need to feed.
Yeah.
It's absolutely
Yeah.
crazy
It's
the amount of food.
shocking. It's shocking.
But
Yeah.
it's like you were saying, it's around 40% of the food that's produced just literally goes into the garbage.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's 1 million tons a year in LA alone. And LA has the biggest food insecurity in America. So it
What do
just
you
goes to
mean?
show, like, how, so you have the most food insecurity amongst the people. So people are not being able to eat, in the whole of America. And then we're wasting so much food. So there's definitely a huge market here for that. It's a gap in the markets.
Good for
And
you
that's where we
for,
come in.
but good for you. Good for you. That's interesting because you wouldn't tell, and I don't mean to be rude or judgmental, but you look at, if I'd look at your Instagram, I would have never known.
Everyone says that. I
No,
give,
but
I give, yeah, I give off a certain vibe on my Instagram, I've been told.
it's
Um,
it's not that, don't get me wrong. It's really, I understand that Instagram is kind of you're, let's not lie to each other, you're a product because you do sell stuff, so you're a product, so you actually push things that will help you sell that product.
yeah, yeah,
But who really wants to hear about everything else? That, people want to hear a certain aspect, they follow you for a certain thing, do they
yeah,
really care about the rest? I don't know. I
yeah.
do. I do personally. I do care. That's the part I like about talking with people doing podcasts, is I get to not expose, but at least know what they're
Yeah, no,
doing.
absolutely. Yeah. What goes on behind the scenes, what you show, you choose what you show on Instagram. So I
Yeah.
think I saw a meme about um, the art of posting without people actually knowing what's going on in your life. So you can post every day, but people still don't know what's actually going on behind the scenes. And they think they know you. A lot of people think they know you from Instagram, and they don't.
It's in my opinion, it's a lot easier to lie on social media than it is to be
Oh, for
honest.
sure. Oh, for sure. Absolutely. And people hear it from their own perception, like
Yeah.
anything,
Yeah.
they will take what you say and they have their own perception from their life experiences, which is
Yeah.
completely normal. We all understand from our own perception, right? So they twist and turn whatever you're saying to make it suit their vision of things, right?
It's social media is interesting beast.
It
It's
is.
very
It
useful
is.
if you know how to use it.
Absolutely.
But if you're
And
just the type to scroll, I'll be honest, I don't scroll. If I scroll, is because I'm looking for guests I want to talk to, but I don't go and just scroll. I don't do that. That to me is wasting my time.
yeah, no, absolutely. You can waste hours if you're not careful on that platform. But this is what, and this is what frustrates me a little bit as well with like, and this is social media though, and people want quick entertainment. They don't want to read the captions. I write really long captions, right? But people are more interested in just seeing like quick entertainment, and the more shocking, the better. Which is why you have someone shaking their ass and they got fucking 2.2 million followers, right? And people just commenting and going crazy, and they're doing fuck all. And then you got someone that's actually speaking. Like I have a lot of friends that have got such great content, and worthy content. They're talking about something that actually matters, and people just don't want to see it because they're dealing with their own shit and they have their own problems, and they just come on there for quick entertainment. So I get it, but as you say, it's a beast. If you manage to use it right, you manage to get a message out there, then I think it's worth your while.
It just has to be very calculated.
Yeah.
You have to be very careful what you say, and especially what you don't say. You got to be very careful with that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I know I trigger a lot of people with my posts at times, but that's me.
I don't do a lot of, like, I don't look at a lot of stories, but just before we started recording, I went to check some of yours. Yeah, I can see how you piss off people. I was laughing. Everything you had on there, I was laughing, and there's a couple of times I clap. I'm like, yeah, I agree.
But my memes actually used to be a lot more fun. Like I used to have a lot of very sarcastic memes. Like I love it, and it triggers people, but people laugh. Especially during lockdown, I had a lot of people reach out to me, and they were like, you know what, your memes got me through the day, or they got me through. Like I had someone just message me the other week saying, I've been really sick for a long time, and your memes make me laugh every day. Like so is nice. But then off late, it's been and I try not to go too dark, but as we spoke about earlier, sometimes you just see too much shit. Like I log on to Instagram, or like I don't even watch the news, but
or MySpace.
You just or MySpace, and you see like the fires, you see the nature catastrophes and all that shit, and I'm like, so it becomes a lot of memes about that. So I try to lighten up every once in a while, just for my sake and also for other people's sake. I know they don't want to come on and get like all doomy and gloomy on my profile,
But there is such a thing as, again, I spoke about that earlier, but there's a role called the comedian or the joker, where most comedy, like it comes from being a jester to the king, entertaining the king. But what most people don't realize is that the actual job of a jester or a joker or a comedian nowadays is to make fun of serious institution. Like make fun of politics, religion, food, whatever.
Exactly. Seriously,
just to show you how it's not trying to show that those institutions are ridiculous. They're just trying to show how ridiculously serious they are, and that's funny. That they're so serious about it.
Yeah, and not to take things so seriously. Like fuck, it's this is the thing. Like that's why I'm very sarcastic to nature. It's like, well, there's no point taking things so seriously. Might as well laugh about it, because
nobody gets out alive either way. So
that's what I was gonna say.
There's absolutely no point. You gotta laugh. You have to, or else what's the point?
Exactly.
There's a nice it's the concept is the middle way. You have to be a bit bad, you have to be good, you have to,
you gotta have a balance.
You have to be in the middle, balance that shit out.
That's it.
So we gotta speak about, I just noticed I have 3 dogs right now. I might not see, but I have like German Shepherd number 1, German Shepherd number 2, and I have a Rottweiler right there. It's my buddy's.
Oh my god, amazing. Nice too.
She's big. She's like 110 pounds. Hey,
wow.
Can you see her head?
I saw her head come up there.
But she's I live in the country, right? So I have multiple acres of land, so I just let them free.
Oh, that's amazing.
And she's like a cow. She literally, she just eats, she walks around and she just eats the grass. So we got to speak
Oh,
about Mooey.
yeah,
Mooey.
Mooey.
Tell me
Mooey.
about Mooey, because I saw the picture and that breaks my heart.
Yeah. So Mooey is a cow that we discovered living in Rasakreima, which is just outside of Dubai.
Okay.
She is living in the countryside there. So it's a little like a little forest. And there was a local guy that bought that land. And if you don't do anything with your land, it gets taken by the government. But if you put one live animal on that land, they can't take it because you're using it, right? So he placed Mooey there, and apparently she's been there for years. And I only recently heard that apparently there were other cows there as well, but they died. When we discovered Mooey, it was a couple of years ago. We also discovered she was eating like beef biryani and shit. Like people had put, I don't know who put that there, but you know, maybe some workers or whatever. So she was literally eating cows. So we started bringing her like flatbreads. Like she loves the Arabic bread. She loves cucumbers and apples and carrots. And we started bringing that, started caring for her. And luckily I have some really good friends that live further down the road. So they always check in on her and make sure that she's okay. And then we managed to get some water for her, because there used to be nothing. And like Dubai, the Dubai heat is intolerable in the summer. Luckily she has some shades from the trees and stuff. So we take care of her as much as we can, you know, go up and see her and stuff. But I also looked into recently when I did that post, if we could get some more animals onto that land. So at least she had some cow friends. But I think you need like a farmer's license and this and that kind of stuff. So it's just, we're working on it to see what we can do to make her situation a little bit more bearable. But yeah, it's heartbreaking, you know, we don't consider the lives of the animals, you know, we just do it for our own, like, for our own benefit, without any care for her life, you know. So, but I think I've seen she has a little cat friend as well that comes around. So, but yeah, we do what we can with her. But she's super sweet. She's really nice.
I don't understand how it's like we were saying before the podcast that I became vegan and vegetarian before that because of animals, not because of my health, because of I could not live with myself knowing how they were treated.
Exactly.
I don't understand how you can leave. Like you see videos of dogs being chained in the middle of the woods because people don't want to take care of them.
Yeah.
And
People
just
dump.
fucking bring it to me. Just bring that dog
Exactly.
to me. I'll take it.
Exactly.
I'll take
Yeah.
it. I'll pay for the food. They have place here. My
Yeah.
second one's a rescue. And you know what? Any girlfriend I've ever dated in my life, I've told them one thing. It's possible one day you'll see me arrive with another animal. If I find an animal
Yes.
somewhere that's
Of
hurt,
course.
I'm picking
Yeah.
it up and I'll bring
Yeah.
it with me.
Yeah. I couldn't live with myself knowing that I passed something that needed help. No way. And this is what I'm starting to discover now, because my second app is to help the shelters with rescue shelters, and especially the death row animals, so the dogs primarily. And I've been in touch with a lot of shelters when I've been here now this time around, and the system is broken. There's so many dogs being bred, pit bulls, and you know, staffs, all type of breeds, and then people dump them when they become a little bit you know, inconvenient. So the shelters are full, and even though California is a no-kill state and they pride themselves on that, we have like 15 dogs killed a day in the different shelters, and they get killed because of medical conditions or behavior conditions. But in all fairness, they get killed because they're overrun, and you can't even blame the shelters anymore because they don't know what to do. And it's a problem. So creating this app to try to help the death row animals, and also the, you know, getting people to understand that stop buying animals. There's so many that needs a home, you know, raising that awareness again, and helping people on the way to foster and adopt, and you know, and other things, such as like having blood donors. Like I had the little kitten the other day. She was severely anemic, but there was no kitten blood in the whole of LA. She needed a blood transfusion. So even even working with perhaps shelters that are euthanizing cats, because there are kittens and cats being euthanized every day as well. Even just getting that blood, trying to make use of, trying to help the situation, trying to help that broken system that we're dealing with. But yeah, same. I can't. And this is the thing, I think, with us, when you feel such compassion and empathy, like, you know, you can't help everyone. And it gets you so frustrated, right? You just want to help all of them. You want to take all of them in.
It doesn't frustrate me. It makes me sad. Like,
Yeah.
just thinking about that earlier, I saw your eyes get watery and mine get too. If there's something that gets to me, is animal suffering gets to me. I can see human suffering. Most of the times it's their fault. It's not going to have the impact that it has on me, but
no, animals are
animals,
innocent.
I don't know what I would do to somebody torturing an animal in front of me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I would feel nothing for that human being. And I've seen a lot, obviously in Middle East, there's a complete different kind of mentality to animals and abuse. So you have to try to kind of understand that it's like lack of education and stuff. But then I'm thinking, another side of me, I'm like, you know what? You know what's right and wrong. It's that ignorance towards another life that we're dealing with. But it's also that cognitive dissonance, which a lot of people are facing. They don't connect the two.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I've meditated on that, and I don't know what the reasoning is, but I believe that as human beings, we're not good. We're born we're born sinners. You're only, and as I was saying earlier, there's the middle concept. You walk the middle, but you will do bad. Hopefully you do more good than you do bad.
It's a choice, right?
But it's a conscious choice. You need to be conscious of your, as you were saying earlier, but I think that's the key. Too many people are not, they just don't care. Like, how many times have I wondered how many people would still eat meat if they had to cut the throat of that cow?
Yeah, of course.
Like, here's the knife. You want to eat meat? Here's your knife. Gut it.
Yeah.
Stop. Don't be one of those that separates yourself from the meat and use 2 or 3 degrees of separation. Just really do it yourself.
Or even just watching someone do it.
There's not a lot of people that would eat it.
No, absolutely. As they say, if slaughterhouses had glass walls, everyone would be vegan. We don't want to see it. People don't want to see it. People don't want to see these videos. I don't want to see the videos, but I don't need to, because I know. Yeah. But I had that cognitive dissonance myself before I started eating meat. I could be petting a chicken and be like, oh my God, you're so cute. I could never eat you. And then someone gives me a plate of chicken and I don't connect the two. I'm like, chicken. And this is what a lot of people suffer from. And it's also programming. We program that we pet cats and dogs and we eat cows and chickens. And then we get all outraged when they eat dogs and cats in China. But they've been programmed that way as well. It's about unlearning what you've been taught since you were a child, which is with everything you've been taught. We need to unlearn to relearn if you're going to grow and evolve as a human being. We cannot stay stagnant in tradition and culture. It needs to move forward. We don't have to do certain things that we used to do 1,000 years ago. Just because we did it doesn't mean that it's right. Right?
I agree with you, but it's the consciousness aspect that I think is really, really being lost. I don't remember who I was discussing this with, but I was making a point about, what a ritual and a habit is. What's the word I'm looking for? Balls. When you wake up, you have a certain thing. You have your routine. Thank you. That's what I'm thinking. The people don't know the difference between the two, but a routine is a ritual. The only difference is a ritual is conscious. You realize what you're doing, you're acting something, you're reading a part, but it's conscious. Too much, we're just on autopilot. We don't even care. Yeah. As you said, I'm petting my cat as I'm eating a cow. But what's the difference between that cat and There's none. But they just, as you said, there's no link. You don't do the link between the two, and whose fault is it, right?
Yeah, no, exactly. But I think once that cognitive dissonance goes, that's you can't go back. You know,
I hope
you can't put the blindfold back on.
How did it happen to you now, since we're talking about this? What happened to you?
How I became vegan.
Yeah, what was
It's
that?
to be honest, if you would have asked me 2 weeks before I went vegan, if I would, I probably would have been like, hell no. I love my meat. No, seriously, even that
Yeah.
short before, I don't know. It just something just switched. So I've been working with animal welfare for many years, like maybe 10 years actively. I used to be head of illegal wildlife and in Dubai. I was rescuing animals and I was eating animals. And I always had that kind of, I knew that I was a hypocrite in my mind and I was battling with it in my mind. I'm like, but I don't want to give it up. I enjoy this. And I'm doing enough animal welfare work and stuff. But I knew that it had to come to a point where, like, come on, like, just wake the fuck up. But anyway, I was in Florida and my friend in Florida just said, let's watch this new documentary that's come out, like What the Health. And he said it's not much animal abuse going on, because obviously I couldn't watch the slaughter videos. I didn't want to know what I was contributing to, because I knew it was bad. We all know it's bad. It's whether we want to face it or not.
Yeah.
So, and we watched it, and after that, I'm like, what the hell am I doing? What the fuck am I contributing to? And then I started looking into it more and more. And from that day on, I went cold turkey, because that's how I do it. A lot of people have to, like, you know, maybe cut out the red meat, cut out the chicken, cut out the fish, like all, and that's fine, whichever way you do it. But for me, I just have to go cold turkey. So I stopped eating any meat, dairy, anything from that day on. And I remember going back on the flight back to Dubai, and obviously they were serving chicken, and I just felt sick to my stomach from what I've seen. And that was that. And I didn't look back since. And I didn't tell many people for about 2-3 months, because I needed to do it for myself. I didn't need any judgment. I didn't need anyone to tell me their opinion or whatever. So I kept it to myself. And then I was going to, and I said, I'm like, I'm not going to be one of those annoying vegans that tell other people what to do. But as I said earlier when we spoke, you know, when you see enough shit and you see enough animal suffering, you just want to fucking shake people and be like, wake up, like, know what you're contributing to at least. You know, and if you're fine with that, then that's fine, you know, but know what you're contributing to. So I understand these angry vegans that are like, you know, fighting, especially if they go to slaughterhouses and they see animals and they're with the animals in their last few moments of life, knowing that they've never felt love. And, you know, I understand the anger. But I did become more vocal about it, and I've become more vocal since. Obviously, it's been just over 5 years now. And I think I'm probably at my most vocal now with my veganism. But it's also because I'm doing it for the animals. I don't care if people think I'm a fucking annoying, you know. I will never be quiet for them.
People will think you're annoying no matter what. They'll always find a reason to not like you. Might as well make it worth it.
Exactly. And I've always said, you know, it's the reason why I fight so much for animals is because there's so many people dedicated to hurting them. Mm. You know?
Yeah, and they have no voice. Technically, they can't really speak.
I mean, and that is another thing that I've always gone against. Like, you know, when say that animals have no voice, like, they have a fucking voice. Have you ever been in a slaughterhouse? They have a voice. We just won't listen to it. Yeah. You know? So yeah. It's been a journey, and I'm still on a journey, you know, kind of understanding and understanding how to talk to people, and, you know, try to not work from emotion, not to talk from emotion, because as we said as well, you know, people shut off when you shout and scream if you want, or like try to shock them into realizing what they're doing, you know. So I just try to educate where I can, and educate through my meal plan, and get people to understand that we don't actually have to eat this, you know. As you say, we're like, we can build muscle, we can live complete healthy lives without others having to suffer. So just trying to educate that. But then sometimes I'm like, oh, okay, and I just post something like really angry, you know. Balance.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It's the fine line, right? You need to, but it comes down to a science at that point. How do you approach? Because you need to approach them on an individual base, because every single one of them will. But again,
And
I don't know. For me, Earthlings did it. Have you seen the documentary?
I haven't. It's a lot of animal abuse in that, no?
Well, that's all it is.
Oh, I
It's
can't.
but
I
it's
can't.
I watched it 10 or 12 years ago, and that I'm like, whoops.
I
I
couldn't.
because
Yeah.
it wasn't mainstream back then, like 10, 12 years
No,
ago. You didn't see like today, open Google, go to YouTube, and you'll find all the videos you
of
want.
course.
But
Of
back
course.
then, there wasn't. You didn't even carry a cell phone and a smartphone with you.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
but I don't know. I can't watch that stuff anymore.
No,
I
I
can't
can't. It
watch
it
that.
breaks me. It
I
breaks my
don't need
heart.
to see it. I know it happens.
The one that did it for me, the second one I watched after What the Health was Gary Jurovsky.
I didn't see
The
it.
greatest what?
No.
The greatest speech you'll ever hear. Oh my God, you're in for a treat. I literally rewatch it. I make everyone watch it. So
You want to send me?
it's
You want to?
oh
You
my
want
God,
to
I'll send you the link. It's
Yeah, send me the link on
it's only a
Instagram.
YouTube, yeah, it's only a YouTube clip. Do you
Yeah,
know who Gary Jurovsky is?
yeah,
Yeah. So he obviously goes around to different universities and he does lectures. So
yeah.
this is just a lecture in 1 hour. But
Yeah.
in 1 hour, he breaks down everything. You cannot argue anything with him. You'd be like, yeah, it's so precise and it's so like he's not bashing, he's not doing anything. It's just like, this is what happens. This is what we don't have to do it anymore, and blah blah blah. And it's a little bit of like he shows videos from like a dairy farm, and obviously the kind of typical ones that we see with the animals being abused and stuff. But it's so much educational stuff that he's talking about that I can't imagine anyone walking out of that classroom not considering what they're doing. So yeah, I'll send you that link. It's so good.
I think the way to do it is, you said it well, is to keep your emotion in check, but to also present facts in a way that they're undeniable.
Yeah, exactly.
That no
Because there's
matter
always going to
what,
be people saying shit against you.
no, but that's
It's
fine.
always going to be people that done their research and like. And I was saying only today, you can find whatever you want today on the internet. So if I want something pro
Oh yeah.
veganism, I'll find that. If I want something negative, and I can find complete studies going for and against it. So it's what you search for, you will find. So it's very hard nowadays also to get straight facts, right? Because there's so much information out there, but we don't even know what's true and not anymore.
And not only that, not only there's too much information to a point because it's created by anybody,
Exactly.
but like that wasn't enough. One thing that we've stopped doing as our culture is debate. You don't
Yeah.
see polite debates anymore. All you see
No,
is people,
no,
and
no.
whatever the subject, veganism is a great subject, but when's the last time you really saw a good debate between two individuals that did not hold the same view, but
Yeah.
respected each other, were well spoken, and there was somebody in the middle saying, okay, 2 minutes for you, 2 minutes for you, then
Yeah.
you can rebuttal,
Yeah.
but it's
Yeah.
polite and people respect. You don't
Yeah.
see that anymore.
No, because it's a lot of it comes from ego. We're talking from our ego, and everyone knows best, and people don't want to step down from what they think is right, and we are all guilty of that. I'm having to self-assess a lot, and this is another thing. I think people don't self-assess anymore. Like when I post shit, and I like to do my research and stuff, and I know I'm going to have people opposed to it, like what I posted today about Bezos. And this is fine. Like I don't mind it, but people become very personal and very rude. And this is the problem nowadays. And I think we have these keyboard warriors that think that you can just say whatever they want. I'm like, come and say that to my face, you know. Like dare to stand for what you believe in, but at the same time respect the people around you that have different opinions.
Because it's okay. That's the thing. That's why life is beautiful, because you surround yourself by all different type of people.
Of
As
course,
long
and
as
this
they
is how
bring
you.
you, as long as the
Yeah,
people bring you up, they don't try to bring you down. You should keep those
exactly.
people around. It's okay that they
Yeah,
don't believe the same thing as you.
absolutely. And this is like, how boring would it be to have people that believe exactly the same as you and they live exactly the same as you? You wouldn't evolve as a person. Having these people around you with different opinions, and it makes me open my mind even more and be like, oh, do you know what? He actually has a point. you know,
But
and you
it's
learn.
way more comfortable to have people that are telling you that
Yes,
you're
around you.
right.
Of
You
course.
know, my mother told me I was special my whole life, and God damn it, she was right. No, but you want to have people around you that are telling you that you're right.
But you
you're
also want to
doing-
have people around you that challenges you.
That's the only type of people, in my opinion, that's the only type of people, but that is hard. It's
Yeah,
hard to
yeah,
have
yeah.
your buddy sits to you with a beer and look at you and like, dude, you're an asshole, bro. Do you realize what you just did? What do you mean? You no, but it's true. You want to have people, it's like your boyfriend, your girlfriend, you want them to challenge you. You don't
Of
want
course.
somebody that says yes to everything you do,
Yeah,
but that makes people uncomfortable, and people don't like to be uncomfortable anymore.
exactly. I think that's the basis of a lot. People don't like to be uncomfortable, so they don't challenge themselves. They don't self-assess. They don't go deep within themselves. So I think that is, I think COVID did a lot of people. It was a blessing in disguise, because people were forced to sit with themselves, you know, and self-evaluate and maybe rethink how they were living their lives, and you know what they put their values in and stuff. So yeah, I think self-assessment is very important, and being self-critical and realizing that maybe you don't have all the answers for everything.
I can tell you, you don't. I don't.
Yeah,
You don't.
yeah,
Nobody does.
absolutely. We never do. What is that famous saying, that the more we know that we don't know?
Yeah.
It's not that, but you know what, you get the
No, but
gist.
we understand.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it's really that, again, consciousness, you said it before. I've repeated a few times and I'll continue doing it. It's really about yourself, your action, especially your reaction, and how that impacts the people around you. It's
Yeah.
amazing that we don't hold that mirror to ourselves anymore to see what we truly are, because it's too scary.
Exactly. Absolutely.
You know, there's one of my favorite saying that I butcher all the time, is by my favorite psychiatrist called Carl Jung, and he says that for the branches of a tree to reach heaven, his roots needs to be in hell, needs to be rooted in hell. So he was a big fan of the opposition, the duality of everything.
Yeah.
But until you realize the atrocities that you're able to create, that you're able to do, how can you really consider yourself good?
Very true.
I don't remember which fighter said that, but he said that if you don't know how to fight and you don't know how to cause harm, you're not dangerous. I read that the other day. You're not nice. Yes. You're not dangerous. You're a kitty. You're a cat. You're a pussy, basically.
Yeah.
You just don't know. You're not.
I read that exact quote the other day. It's so true. It's so true.
It was said a lot better than what I just butchered it. But
yeah, I get the gist. No, it's exactly that. Absolutely.
It's funny. Almost all the podcasts that I have, they always come back to this. It's interesting how I always seem to find people that understood self-assessment. Successful people all self-assess, every single one of them. You can't be successful at anything, whatever you consider successful, unless you know yourself. It's goddamn, it's been 40 minutes.
What? 40 minutes already? Shit. We haven't even touched on my tattoos, nothing.
Okay, you know what? Before I ask you my last question, we're gonna talk about those triangles you have on your neck. Just because, as I said, one of my buddies has that. He has that as his laptop screen for years. He has that on his cell phone too. So what does it mean?
You know, it's a Viking tattoo, obviously, me being Swedish, Viking. For me, like, there's a lot of interpretations for it.
Yeah.
For me, it's the connection between heaven and hell and the state that we're in now. So very Carl Jung kind of thing. But then I also know that for some people it's like representing Odin. Like, we have it on a lot of graves in the northern countries. So I think it's like Odin's son or something like that, but I don't interpret it like that. So for me, it's just the connection between the good, the bad, and the place that we're in.
I'll text my buddy.
Yeah, let me
I'll
know
ask him what it means and I'll send it to you.
what it means
Because
to
I don't,
him.
he explained it to me and I cannot remember what it means.
Yeah.
But it's the
Yeah,
same thing.
there's so many explanations. Yeah. But that's how it resonates to me. And to be honest, I thought it looked good on my neck, so I just put it there.
You're crazy. I would never put anything on my neck. I'm a bitch.
No,
I'm tattooed everywhere. Like only my legs are not done yet. But
I have to stop myself. I have to stop myself from not going more. It's one everywhere.
yeah,
You
but
know what it's like.
I normally wear a suit. So
Oh,
I've
yeah.
always been careful to like
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah.
finished a few inches so that it doesn't show if I'm in a suit.
Yeah.
And I can like I literally went to my tattoo guy and I had a dress shirt and I'm like, okay, put a triangle where it is. You can tattoo everywhere, but you can't go. So I can unbutton the first one and it's okay. But as soon as it's like everywhere.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they're addictive though.
Yeah. No, I love it. I love it. Yeah.
Do you
But I don't,
realize you have tattoos? Because I don't. It's only
I don't
when I
think
see
about it.
pictures. When I see
Yeah.
pictures and I'm like shirtless or in a wife beater, I'm like, holy shit, I have a lot of
I don't think I
tattoos.
have enough. Yeah, exactly. I don't think I have enough. And then I see, I'm like, well, it's like literally
much
my whole
skin.
right side of my body. Yeah. Yeah. But no, it's always, I always think of new ones constantly. So it's good. I love it.
It's been a few years. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
For me. Yeah. I normally go crazy. When I start something, I don't do any
Yeah.
small. Next
Yeah,
time I
yeah,
go,
yeah.
it's a full leg. So when I
Yeah.
start, it'll take me 2 years to finish, but I'll do a full leg.
But I think about something in the morning and I'll do it in the afternoon. I don't feel like it's very instantaneous for me. Some of the no, actually, almost everything I've got, I've thought about not too long, and I've never
So-
regretted anything.
So what you call instantaneous, I call crazy, basically.
Yeah, I am a little bit crazy when it comes to that.
Oh, I know, I can tell.
I'm very spontaneous. Yeah, fuck it. You live once,
In this body, absolutely.
as far
So
as we know.
destroy it all you want, you'll get another one next time. So it's
I
all
would
good.
say like bodies are temporary, tattoos are forever.
I never heard that one before. That's good. That's very good. Let me ask you. I always finish on the same question. So I'm gonna ask it to you before we close off because I know that we're gonna go over if we continue. If you had the chance to speak to your 14-year-old self, what would you tell her? I like
Oh,
those eyes, by
God.
the way. I noticed that. That might be the clip I'm gonna take. I might take a little clip just like, what the fuck are you asking me, bro?
Oh my God, 14. God, I have to remember back then. Just to be honest, just follow your heart, what feels right, which is what I did essentially. I left Sweden when I was 18. I moved away, and I didn't look back. And I always followed my heart. I always followed my passions. This is what I do, yeah, everything is going to be all right. Don't worry. Everything turns out all right. And actually, to be honest, I don't think there's anything that I was very much the same when I was 14 as I am now. Very spontaneous, very like, I followed my passions and my heart, which has led me to where I am today. So just follow your path, know your true self, know what your passion is, and go with it.
So accept the fact that you're crazy.
Yeah.
Just accept
What
it.
else is there to do? What else is there to do? That's it. I fully embraced it. That's what makes life worth living for me.
Who wants to be normal?
Exactly.
Who wants to be normal either way? It's been a pleasure. I had a feeling we'd have fun. It's
been good.
It's a pleasure. I appreciate you taking the time. Thanks
Thank you
for
for
taking
having
care of
me.
that little kitty a few days ago, by the way.
I know, little baby, bless her soul.
Yeah, it's a good thing that you took care of the cat instead of doing a podcast with me. I fully understand. No, that's a good thing. I would have done the same thing. That's a good thing.
Yeah. She felt love.
Yeah,
that's all that matters.
Thank you for doing it. Thank you for taking the time today too.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too. Take care.